AI will try and mimic as much of a human being as possible, and they'll probably get better and better at it. So the only way to win this game against the computer is for us humans to get better at trust building, to learn how to build trust with other humans a lot better.
Welcome back for another show. I love it when there's somebody on the complete opposite side of the world, whether I'm supposed to say that or not. He could be sitting next door like a lot of traditional news companies and studios, but he's not. Coming to us from Sydney, Australia, my 4 p.m. Eastern, it's his 7 a.m. the next day. So today's guest, I usually get this right, but I didn't make sure I had the pronunciation on his last name. But we have Ari
Galper.
Look at this, guys. You know what? It's as it says, Galper. He's widely recognized as the world's leading authority on trust-based selling. He's the creator of the one-call sale and founder of Ari AI, which is helping businesses eliminate pressure and close deals through trust-based conversations. Ari's the author of multiple best-selling books, not just one, not just two, but I believe 7, including Trust in a Split Second. It's been featured in Forbes, Inc. magazine, and CEO. In this episode, we're breaking down why traditional sales is broken, how to collapse long sales cycles into a single conversation, and what Ari calls the trust recession. Ari, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Excited.
Yeah, man. The trust recession. What are we talking about?
Well, it's funny because it's a term I coined a while back, and here's what I'm talking about. I believe we are now what I call a commoditized economy, where we are being shopped because other people do what we do. People are going online, look at profiles on LinkedIn, looking at websites and going, okay, I want X. I want the solution. So they're in shopping mode. When they get a hold of you on the phone, they're already thinking, okay, I'm going to be looking this solution. And then we do their best we can to provide them value. Sometimes I call it free consulting, where we do over delivery, give them free information, spend time with them in the hope we impress them with our value. But turns out value's been commoditized, has no value pre-sale. And then what happens is, at the end of the call, they say this to you. They say, thank you so much. I want to think about it. You're like, think about it? I just gave you my heart and soul. Then we end up chasing them, following up with them. That's what I call the cycle, the trust recession cycle people are stuck in right now, because there's no trust in the person shopping you, knowing that they can trust you. So I figured out a way, Mark, to crack that code once and for all to never chase anybody ever again.
Well, how do we crack the code?
Well, how we do it is we got to first change your mindset. Got to change your whole architecture of how you've been conditioned to sell, because we've been taught that our job is to build a relationship first with the person. They got to like us. We got to get along. We got to have chemistry. And I'm suggesting to you today that the way to make this shift is to change your whole self-image from trying to become their best friend to being more of the doctor. You're the doctor. They're the patient. When you go see a doctor, what's the first thing they say to you? They don't say, hey, I love your shoes. Let's have a cup of coffee. Hey, nice to hear your voice. No, they say, where does it hurt?
That's it. Tell me what's wrong.
Right. Well, they use, obviously it's not their bedside manner, hopefully, and empathy. It's not like you're clinical about it. But the point is, they are problem-centric, not solution-centric. See, as experts like us, when we hear someone's problem who's a new opportunity, our brain goes, boom, boom, yeah, perfectly qualified. Got him. Then we're off to the races to our next step. Why? Because we have what's called the expert syndrome. We've heard their issues so many times in our marketplace, it's not new to us. So we got this, right? As opposed to a doctor has to follow a process, not make assumptions, and do a deep dive to get a core truth of what the actual issue is, whether the person wants to hear it or not. So it's a different way of thinking about this, but it requires letting go of your old habits and conditioning of 1, doing free consulting, 2, stop delivering value, deliver clarity instead, and essentially don't try to get them to like you, only respect you.
Where did this start for you? Not to tell this full Ari story and stuff, but what caused you to go down this path?
Great question. There was a pivot story that happened to me 2 decades ago, and here's what happened. I'll make it quick. I was working for a high-tech software company. We launched the first online website tracking data collection tools. Now it's called Google Analytics. But we were the first one to launch that in California when I'm originally from there. Your company got the accent. And anyway, so I was managing 18 reps underneath me, salespeople. And the big leads came across my desk. And one day I got a phone call inbound from the website. And I'm talking to this guy. He works for a huge business company. I recognize the name, multiple websites. And he's like, hey, we love what you've got. We want to see a demo of your offering. I said, great. And if I close this one deal, it would double revenue in one sale. That's how big it was. So they agreed to a date and time for a demo. The day finally came, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm in my conference room with my CEO, big long conference table. On the table is the old school. Remember the Polycon speakerphone thing we used to have years ago? I hit that speakerphone and I dial the down number. And my guy's like, hey, Ari. He's like, hey, how's it going, John? He's like, good, good. He says to me, hey, Ari, let us tell you who's with us on the phone today. Great. I know someone else will be there. Next thing I hear is, my name's Mike. I'm CEO. I'm like, ooh, this is good. My name's Chris. I'm head of global IT. Amazing. This is Julia, head of global marketing. Impressive. Everybody on this call was a what?
Decision maker.
Yeah, they're all there. It's going to happen. It's going to happen now. I got one shot. So I'm still my calm, friendly self. I explain what we do. Then I have them log into a webinar type tool back then to show them live on one of their websites, a prototype of how they can log in and see all their live stats. So they all log in. I start walking through everything and I start hearing this noise on the phone call like, wow, this is great. This is amazing. How does this work? And they start asking me all kinds of questions. And of course, I had all the answers. There was so much chemistry on this phone call, Mark. It was like a love fest on the phone. You know what I'm talking about? They got the questions. You got the answers. You're saying to yourself, what? Damn, this is so good. The chemistry, no resistance. I'm loving this. They're qualified. An hour goes by. My contact says to me, Ari, this is amazing. We love this. Give us a call a couple of weeks, follow up with us, and we'll move this thing forward. I'm like, thank you, God. Oh my God, this is my year. I'm one call. This is amazing. I said my goodbyes. I took my hand, reached for the speakerphone on the table there. As I'm reaching for the off button on the phone, by complete accident, I hit the mute button instead of the off button. And a small click happened, and they thought I hung up the phone.
And you heard the honest truth, the things that they weren't willing to share, and that for some reason they just, and humans are still, God wants you to continue going, but humans are still doing this. And tell me if I'm wrong. I want you to fully circle back to this. But after you get done with this story, I want to ask you a question, because you might say I'm doing it wrong and I'm even teaching it wrong. But what I want to know, I've been telling my salespeople for a long time, I want to know what they're going to say when I leave the room. I personally do want to know, because maybe you're going to teach us to do it a different way, but I want to know every objection. Not that I'm going to overcome it specifically, but I want to know every objection that everybody could possibly have to my product so I can deal with it right then. At least that's the way I approach things. So keep with your story and then tell me if we're doing it wrong or what the nuance is to this.
That's fine. So I pulled my thumb back. They started talking amongst themselves, thinking I had left the call. And so you would expect things like what after a call like that?
But you would think how you were feeling. Oh, you would expect to hear the same things that they told you, but they poked 18 holes in it. They were probably talking about you, some things they didn't like about you, or, hey, let's just do this on our own. Let's find a way to do it cheaper. Hey, let's go out. And all that's probably what was happening.
Here's what they said word for word. I'll never forget it. That's why we're here today. Here's what they said. They said, we're not going to go with him. Keep using him for more information and make sure we shop someplace else cheaper. Knife in heart twist. I was in a state of shock. I could not believe it. And I hit the off button. I looked at the wall and I said to myself, what did I do wrong? I was competent. I was professional. I built a relationship. I could solve their problem. They loved it. And I realized that moment that for whatever reason, they were not comfortable telling me the truth. And I said to myself, that's it. Selling has become a dysfunctional relationship, unhealthy. Two parties not feeling comfortable telling each other the truth is bad. So I decided to launch my whole way of thinking around this to untangle this complicated relationship to finally build enough trust from hello where both parties feel comfortable telling each other the truth. So there's no games, no follow-up, no guessing, no pipeline, no nothing. It's either onboarding or offboarding, and that's it.
That's kind of what I was referring to and talking about, right? You're going to have some strategy to it, but I just found the way that I think I didn't have as good of a moment as you do, because you being in that moment and being willing to be self-aware, to ask yourself the question, what did I do wrong? Because even if you did a really good job the way most professionals taught you to be a salesperson, you still were having that outcome. So many people want to blame the client. What you did in that moment is why you're sitting here today on what you built.
Well, I made it my mission, my life mission, to help people who sell learn. Here it comes. It sounds very contrarian. My mission is to help them stop selling, stop all that conditioning, but instead learn a new skill, which is how to build trust. Now, it's not relationship building. This is the distinction. Relationship building takes a lot of time. You don't get trust with someone until after the relationship is built. Who's got time? They're gone shopping someone else by then. Instead, you take the relationship piece out. You only focus on trust. They don't have to like you. They just have to respect you. But people who sell, they do a rapport. Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. We work really hard to get them to connect with us and build rapport, but they know it's a game. They don't want to become your friend. Nothing personal. They just want their problem solved. But we always add a social structure before the business structure.
So how can you break this down in a 40-minute call with us without us buying the book, without us paying for the thing yet? How can you give it away without giving it away so we understand a little bit?
I'll give it all away, and there's no buying the book. In fact, I'll give it to you for free at the end. So, guys, don't worry about buying anything. If you want my book for free, I'll get you a copy in a second, and when we're done, okay?
That's called setting the table. That's setting the table, Ari. That's what that is. For you to say, Mark, you don't have to buy it. I'm going to give it away to you.
Nice setup. Didn't even think about that. But let me walk you through it now. Okay, I'll give you the architecture of how this works. Let's say you're on a first call, Mark, with a lead, say a LinkedIn or a lead through your business, right? First opportunity, you can tell they looked in advance, they're fairly within your zone of quality. They show up on Zoom. What's the first thing you would normally do on Zoom? How do you normally begin your calls?
Here's what I'm going to say. I don't have this traditional sales approach now, man. It's how we got on the phone. It's the things I started doing. I'm not trying to have you like, but I want to establish some level of, I've never taken a lie detector test, but I've seen the movies and the people doing it. They're trying to establish the truth and lies. I'm just trying to establish that with a human, that I can read what's going on. So I'm not trying to not answer the question, but I'm trying to get a feel for you on how I know this is going to be a truthful interaction.
So let's say I say hello, I'm the lead, and you show up. What do you normally say? Not your question. What do you just say?
I'm not saying sorry. I'm going to say hello. I'm going to say, Ari, I'm so pumped about this conversation. I'm glad you waited for me, because I have been excited about this all day long. But I don't want to just talk. I want to know what the truth about you and what's going on in your mind. That's what I want to know.
So got it. So you got the right mindset. Well, you're missing the structure and the languaging. Here's how it goes. When they show up on Zoom, here's what you say. First thing you say is, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. Okay. Next thing you say is this. It's called top of the iceberg. Here's what you say first. If it's okay with you, Mark, if you wouldn't mind, take a step back for a moment, walk me through your background, your situation, and up to your current technology concerns, whatever you said, whatever your business concerns, we'll go from there. Would that be okay with you, Mark? Take your fingers like this, over your mouth like a doctor, and sit back in your chair, just like that.
Am I smoking?
No, you know what this does? It makes you do what? Don't talk. Shut up. Stop engaging. Stop talking about Stop the chemistry. Stop it. It's going to be harder first because, Mark, you're super outgoing and you just love to grab that energy and I love you for that. But I'm telling you right now, that's what they think. Oh, shit, he's up to something, being super nice to me. Okay. So I'll say it again. And it's important languaging. If it's okay with you, if you wouldn't mind, take a step back for a moment, John. Walk me through your background, your situation, up to your current concerns you have related to X, and we'll go from there. Would that be okay with you, John? Now, what this does is, first of all, it helps you shut up, but it sends a message. It says, this call is not about me today.
I'm interested in learning. Yep, I'm interested.
I'm the doctor. You're the patient. Doctors don't give you resumes about themselves. They say, where does it hurt? And they go, they adjust and go, oh, he actually wants to hear what I have to say. And they start downloading on you at hello. Within 3 seconds, they're talking. As you're hearing their problem, your systems start doing what as you hear the problem? They'll start to...
Yep, you're problem solving. Your brain's
problem solving right away because you know your stuff so well Their situation is not unique. You've heard 1,000 times. So your brain's like, I got this. Oh, yeah, definitely. In the bag, qualified. We ask a couple questions, qualify them, then we're off through our sales process, and there's no trust being built at all. Now, here's what we do instead. They download. Here's what you say. You summarize the core problem. You say, so what I'm hearing from you is your core issues are X, Y, and Z. Is that right? Always do this after every question. I know it's funny at first, but it'll calm you down. And he goes, yeah, exactly. He's saying this guy listens. Next question. How long has that been a concern for you for? What have you done so far on your own to try and resolve this? Okay. The next layer is called cost of inaction, COI. What's it costing them right now in their business and their company not to solve the problem? Got to help them build a business case around what the impact is economically. If they can't justify the economic problem, they
They're not
can't
buying.
justify the fee to pay for it.
That's it.
Everyone misses that part.
Yep.
They're
That's
trying to
what
solve
you
a
just
benefit.
did there. You were building and what you're building information. You're showing you're interested, but you're learning as well what the problem is. That right there is the hook you just gave them. Like Gary V's book, he's jab, 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 right hook. You just gave him the right hook, and nobody even knows that's what it is.
Yeah,
with that right there,
because you're not making assumptions. See, we assume as experts, we make assumptions. We assume we can do it because we're good at what we do. We're proud of what we do. We want to flex. I got you.
If you wait till the end where you allow them to get to a spot that they're going to make a buying decision based on the cost, you're screwed. What you just did there in the middle, you just eliminated that from happening at the end.
And the key with this, the last, there's a lot more, but the bottom question of this, the iceberg is this one. Here it comes. It's the best one of all. Is this a priority for you to resolve once and for all? Or you have to live with it for a while and deal with it later on. I'm okay either way. Hands in the air. I'm okay either way. What's that saying to them?
There's no pressure. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're just there to help them solve their problems when they're ready.
You're saying, hey, buddy, it's not my problem. I'm fine.
That's it.
You've got the problem, but I got to ask you this question. The truth. Do you want to solve this or not? You'd be surprised how many people just want to shop around for solutions, but don't want to commit to solving it. They love shopping, getting PDFs, looking for information, but to commit to solving it, you got to be the adult. They're the children. Johnny, pick up your clothes off the floor. You're not going to go to school today. Believe it or not, humans have a hard time committing to actually solving the problem. They'd rather shop around for free.
What I just heard here, man, is, salespeople get a bad rap. But yet everybody who acknowledges in business, if you're not selling, you're going to be out of business. However, what you've just done by shortening this sales cycle, you either get to the sale or not, so you can be efficient and move on. But really, the altruistic argument that I could make, you're helping the customer go through the process that's going to take them a lot longer to get through without you.
Very well said. You're helping them come to the conclusion that it's time to stop procrastinating.
That's it. You could make a strong argument that even though there's strategy behind it and we're doing this because we need to get through it, you are helping them successfully achieve something. If you truly care and you have a product that can solve their problem, you're helping them not only solve it a lot quicker. If you are someone that is not just of high trust, but it's high care, you care about their outcomes, you care actually about helping them and doing the right thing, what's the chances they're going to come across someone that's going to care at that level too? Small.
The biggest battle out there right now in trust recession is called indecisiveness. The inability to make it a decision. That's why you always hear this at the end of your calls. I'll have to think about it. Think about what? Do you want to solve?
Yeah, when that happens to you, because I'm assuming it just hardly ever happens, but when it does, what do you say?
Say it to me right now.
Hey, Ari, thanks, man. This was awesome. This was so valuable today. You've given me so much to think about. My brain's kind of breaking. I'm going to take all this information. I'm going to step away. I'm going to evaluate it all. And I don't know the exact time frame, man, but by next week, I'll get back to you and maybe we'll
re-engage. So first, just let me tell, first of all, I'm going to give them zero information. So they'll never have that. I don't give any information out because it's inappropriate. But if you said to me, I want to think about it, here's what I'd say back. I'd say, think about what? Do you want to solve your problem or not? That's all you have to decide on.
You and your
See,
two
it's not
fingers.
about hiring you. It's about, do they want to solve their problem or not? It's not about you. It's not about the sale. It's about their decision to commit to solving it. That's
So
the
tell
first
me
thing that get over the line.
Tell me what has happened in your life, even though you came upon this 20 or 21 years ago. Tell me what has happened in your life just over the past decade because of your understanding of this and what you're building.
I would say that we have gotten so good at this that we almost have X-ray vision, and we can see through every particular issue. We have salespeople bring their live recordings to our meetings. They play them with the group or one-on-one with me or my coaches, and we literally stop the tape like a football game. The coach is like, stop. You turn the bulb, and we stop the tape, and then we're like, you're talking. You can say, oh my God, you're right. I talk too much. Oh my. We don't even realize what we're doing inside the conversation. We're so programmed to work hard to engage, move them forward, create chemistry. That's the wrong thing to do. Doctors don't do that. Now, they have empathy. They care about you, but they don't work hard to become your friend. We were like the pharmacist and the doctor all in one. As they the pharmacy hat off, and then the doctor had only, like, oh, right. Yeah, you're right. I'm giving away too much free consulting. It's amazing how programmed we are, robotic we are, brainwashed to keep pushing harder to become their friend and give them value. Value's been commoditized. Stop delivering value pre-sale. I know it sounds contrarian, but it's the truth.
No. I mean, listen, I don't, contrarian, cliche, doesn't matter. But what we're sitting here, honestly, what we're talking about is, we're just talking about the truth.
Yes.
That's exactly it. We're just talking about the truth. So what part of what in the past, when my sales outcomes haven't been what I wanted them to be or intended to be, and I had to go back and have reflection, I usually find myself, if I'm being honest and truthful, there's something about the moment where I didn't succeed that I lacked confidence. Where did you gain and garner and develop that from? Because at first, do you see it's an essential part of being able to execute this, or no?
Good question, man. Honestly, I've been at it for 20 years. It's the only thing I've been doing, nothing else. Thousands of conversations with business owners and recordings, and I've just detected so many nuances that I can pick up, so alert to, that I'm at the point now where I just focus only on the truth and I let go of the sale altogether. In fact, my best clients, my black belt clients, they go into a first call, here's their mindset. They're saying to themselves, they're probably not a fit. At hello, which detaches themselves away from the sale, which gives them the ability to be bold and ask the hard questions, because these people need a truth teller, not a salesperson. Honest, authentic, and bold, not selling. That's what they need. They need someone they can trust, they can respect. They don't respect people who try to become their friend. That's when you go see a doctor, you're immediately like, okay, doc, whatever you say, I'll do.
Those black belt clients that you're talking about, though, those are highly confident folks.
Well, they are now after going through transformation.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, there's something about this confidence piece that until you can really lean into that part.
Yes.
And you're not worried about what people think about you, the judgment about how you're not worried about that.
Well, part of this is letting go of your own need to be liked and going for the sale. Here's why. They can pick that up from you at hello. They know it. The game's over at hello. You got to just shed the sales armor. Let it all go, man. You know where I got this from? My son, Toby. He has Down syndrome. I wrote a book about him. And if you know someone with Down syndrome, you know how special they are. They're loving. They're transparent. You want to give them a hug. They just have no agenda. He's 22 now. And I wrote a book about him called Lessons from Toby. Okay? And he influenced my work because he walks in the space of being present. He doesn't have an agenda for a next step. I'm saying to myself, why can't we all be like him, man? He's the hero. Here we are with our agenda and our plan,
We're worried about making the sale and the commission.
He just wants to help connect.
Yeah.
We have to learn that skill, especially with AI coming out.
Tremendous. Yeah, let's touch on that. But, the book, I'm not an avid reader of reading all the books, but every once in a while I'll pick one or two up that really made an impact. And Ray Dalio's book, Principles, It was really dense. It was really thick. That's a hard read because there's so many principles in there. And but I walked out of it. There's this story about when he hires people in his company, and it's about being honest. And they have a way on who has the honesty meter about a certain specific topic they're talking about. And my takeaway is how he led his company. He built the largest hedge fund in the world. Is it appears to me that he has convinced himself and tries to instill it in all of his employees that when they walk into a room, a meeting, a sales, they're actually looking to be wrong. I don't know what that does to your brain, but they're looking for the holes in their thing. They're looking for the truth. They're not coming in to defend this definitive sales cycle or this idea or this theory. They're walking in saying, I have these things I've come up with I'm going to discuss, but today I'm going to find out what I'm wrong about. That seems like that applies here.
Very much so, because they're not coming in with any assumptions at all. That's why. That's the difference. Zero assumptions. Like when you go see a doctor for a second opinion, did they ask you for the first opinion? No. They start from scratch.
They might be insulted that you did get someone else's opinion because they're going to be so smart to figure out the problem.
Because their process is designed to have no assumptions. Clean slate and hello.
Difficult? Why is this so difficult? Why is this so breaking and you've been able to build a career on this idea?
Because we've been wedded for years and influenced back in the 80s by the gurus, the books we've read, the TV shows we've watched. We believe selling has always been about relationships. That was fine pre-COVID because you had a lot of time to wait to get that sale. But now you're being shopped. Before you weren't being shopped. That's the difference. So if you're still using the old know, like, and trust model, man, you're going to struggle. Because people aren't hiring you because they like you. I promise you. Nothing personal. You're probably all nice people. It's not about that. They want their problem solved, and believe it, all they care about is to find someone they can trust. They don't really care about even how you solve it. They know what you do, by the way. It's not a mystery. They went to the LinkedIn.
Why you're there. That's why you're there.
That's why they showed up. You're an X, you do that. They're not questioning your efficacy. They can't prove your value until after they're a client, not before they're a client. So stop trying to prove yourself to people and stop flexing.
So let's touch on AI a little bit here. I think we have probably 5 to 6 to 7 minutes. Everybody's talking about it, but I'm starting to have practical, real-world conversations on what this is going to be. I think we're now on the precipice to realize the impact to AI is not just the new search engine, because that's how consumers are still using it. The impact of AI are going to be AI agents, how I see it over the next 3 to 5 years. It's going to be the pseudo employee that's doing the work as the AI agent, and the really capable high-level human is going to be directing the agents.
Yes, I agree.
What about this in this environment over the past 18 to 24 months? Everything you knew, the books that you've written, is AI changing it? Is it a complete new world? Or is it going to mold together in some way we don't see yet?
To relate to selling, in particular in business, here's the way, and I wrote a book about this called The Rise of AI, The Decline of Trust. It's one of my books you can get in my package for free. But anyways, the point I was trying to say in that book is that AI will try and mimic as much of a human being as possible, and they'll probably get better and better at it. So the only way to win this game against the computer is for us humans to get better at trust building, to learn how to build trust with other humans a lot better. That way the humans will connect with the humans, because unless we're not around anymore and they take over, I'm going to write that check's going to be a human being, or at least behind that agent will be a human. So they got to trust you first. So that could be marketing wise, lead gen wise, funnel wise, and conversation wise. Your whole process has to be trust based. Otherwise, the agent or you will not trust the process.
Without us talking about some of the practical moments that we talked about, how to do this, and this is the proper question. So if we're going to get rid of the know and like, and we're going all into the trust.
Yes.
Right? How do you describe it without talking about the process? And I'm like, okay, well then, what does driving a high trust sales organization or sales cycle, what's that look like? Again, without talking about the practical, do this and say this. What is high trust selling?
High trust selling is figuring out how to compress the resistance, eliminate the procrastination, and help your client feel comfortable saying these words to you. Let's do this. And it's not from following up with them, not from chasing them, not from proposals. You got to rewire the culture of your company to say, how can we install trust as a system in our business and stop the act of selling, which is burning leads? I'll get a quick story, Fred. A guy called me today who runs a big sales team, 50 reps. He's like, Ari, we want you to come and speak to our group. We love what you have to say, and we're having a great year. We're having a good year. I'm like, well, what's the problem you want to solve? He said, no, we just want to come in, love your materials. Hey, my guys like you. Come on and give us a talk. What's the problem you want to solve? No. I keep asking 4 times. Finally, I said, let me ask you a question. How many leads a month do you get for your sales team? How much do they get? He goes, 100. Of the 100, how many convert to a new client? He goes, 20. I said to him, what happened to the other 80? Why don't we work on that? At least double 20 to 40, double your whole company. He's like, yeah, let's work. He himself could not even articulate his own problem. Clients can't even describe their own issues at that level. That's why you have to think about the iceberg, and it is tactical. First, the doctor thing is the mindset. Stage 1 is the doctor shift, phase 1. Phase 2 is the structure, going down the iceberg. You got to ask those questions. And the last thing is what I call onboarding. But you need a visual roadmap for that, a visual tool that shows them step by step what your process is to solve their problem. I don't mean your services. A lot of guys in sales have a process. They go, here's step 1. Now, when you say it verbally, it goes in one ear and out the other ear. When we show them a visual roadmap, here's how we work, here's our process. But buy the roadmap first before they buy you. You tighten that up and I'll give you an example. Change languaging. Like rather than saying to somebody, I'm going to follow up with you, or hi, I'm calling to follow up. Never use that word ever again as of today for everyone listening to this. Use this instead. I'm giving you a call to see if you have any feedback on our previous conversation. And feedback on the last meeting. Feedback on proposal. Feedback's going away from the sale. Follow-up's going towards the sale. That's what sales reps do. Stop using languaging like that. That's the worst thing to ever say to somebody. Here's one more tip. Don't ever say this in pre- don't ever say this one before the sale. Here it comes. It's going to hurt just a bit. Don't ever say, do you have any questions? Because what did that invite? Free consulting, picking your brain for information. Don't give them information. Give them clarity on their own problem. Then they'll respect you and hire you.
So what are you, Ari AI? What is that system? What there's so much information out here. What'd you build that for? What's that doing?
That is my digital mind. I have a private AI model that's only trained on my 25 years of content that no one else has publicly. It's my voice. It's talking to me. You hit a button, call Ari now. And I'm like, hey, it's Ari. What's going on? You're literally talking to me live. I've got people right now who are using this. I can go in behind the software and see this. We're on there now, uploading emails, asking sales questions to me, having me coach them on objections. They're getting live coaching from their phone before a sale, after a sale, trying to sort through everything. It's all inside of my new app called Selling with Trust. It's free, by the way, and then this app store, if you want to get that, you can download for free, Selling with Trust in the app store.
This is how we're all going to live forever under holograms. You build this. This is funny. I mean, this is really what's happening in the world.
Oh, my goal is replicate myself so my business lives beyond me. That's my ultimate mission. So I've got coaches who work for me. I've got a replicated brain now. Now I'm building a community around that, and that'll now run without me.
So good. So what do you think the biggest problem that you're solving for all your clients and people to come work for you? Like, what's the problem you're solving?
The problem I'm solving, in fact, I just wrote that down yesterday here, and I'll give it to you. I wrote a little statement around that because I was at a workshop, and we workshopped this. Let's see, I wrote down here. Here it is. We help low-volume, high-margin business owners acquire new clients without having to sell themselves, chase, or pursue the sale. Why? Because we believe now more than ever, trust building should replace the act of selling as we know it.
How often does a guy have the answer that you asked, and he's like, "What do you know? I just had it right here, Mark." Like it was.
I swear to God, I literally yesterday I was a keynote yesterday, and the guy after me, he was talking about it, so I wrote it down.
What makes you excited about this? So you figured out, and you're trying to train and replicate yourself, and have people have more success. But what excites you? Because you already know it. You know this now.
You know what excites me? First of all, that we're the only ones in the world that can do this. No other sales manager or coach can do this because they don't have it as deep as we do. It's impossible because they do this one thing. But the biggest thing that excites me is the fact that now more than ever, trust is at the lowest point in society. Now is the time for this message to get out there to help people succeed. It's been an issue for many years, but now is like now more than ever. Somehow, always someone's like, "Oh, Ari, you're an overnight success." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? 25 years I've been chipping away at this, and nothing's changed. It's the same problem. The difference is the water from the beach went out to the ocean and exposed everything. Now everyone's going, "Oh man, I'm chasing ghosts. No one's calling me back. This is getting hard." Why? Because of the lack of trust.
Take your tightest group of like your top 3 best friends. Do you just wear them out? Because I'm wondering if you do this to them just with every conversation.
No, really, it's just people who are in that zone that are stuck, struggling. I'm like the therapist, man. I only talk to patients who have problems. My
But
friends
you
don't
have
have
3
those
good
problems.
friends. So when you do this, do they run?
That's my friends. They don't have these problems. They're in other businesses than mine. But the people I meet who I can tell right away are struggling with their sales, they're the ones who get the doctor treatment.
Okay. So the friends don't. Maybe the friends give you the doctor treatment that we don't know about.
Yeah. I'm just a
What
normal
do you
guy to those guys.
Yeah, right? But isn't that what's special about your tight-knit, your tight group, that you don't have to provide context?
Not at all. But, cause you were commenting earlier on about materials you got for me and kind of my position and all that. And it's funny because we have a fantasy. We kind of wait for the phone call for somebody to kind of deem us and crown us as the expert in something. And I waited for that phone call, Mark, for a long time. It never came. It's the weirdest thing. The phone still hasn't rung. So I said to myself, if I don't position myself as the owner of this problem, then nobody else will. So after 25 years doing this, thousands of hours doing this, we finally have the only one in the world to crack the code on version rate at a higher result without having to do more friction and more effort.
And it's in the books. It's in the world of every future digital encyclopedia that's going to be it's going to be who's the best at selling, at high trust selling. It's going to have a picture of Ari in here. I'm just messing with you, man. But what I love is when we jumped on the phone that even though you're building this business and you've spent 25 years here, that you own it, there is something about knowing that you're the best.
Well, I don't say I did best. Here's the way I view it. It's I know my customer and client better than they know themselves. So I can poke holes, find things they didn't even see themselves. They thought they owned their space. That they're see the client sees things 180 degrees because they're in the problem. You and I are experts, see things 360, right? When you see things 360 and they're 180, well then they want to work with you.
So are we tipping into a little bit the mentalist space here? A little
What do you
bit?
mean? The mentalist.
You know what they say about the mentalist, what sometimes you'll be meeting with someone and it's like you're in their head. They'll say, "Is there a camera somewhere?" Because that's exactly the problem I'm dealing with.
That's funny.
Go ahead.
That's what trust is. Trust is when someone says to themselves, man, this guy just gets me.
Yep.
He's my
Yep.
guy. We connect. He can read me. My God, I feel this connection. I resonate with him. That's what real trust is. You just got to it right there. When someone says he has no hidden agenda, but he understands me, that's why we have relationships with our husbands and wives and kids, because there's no agenda. We just love them straight through. And that's what I'm trying to say. It comes from my son, Toby, again. Let go of your goal and focus on the other person, but go deep inside their world to the point where they say to themselves, this guy just gets me. Don't cut loose early.
Talk about the value as we wrap up here. When we release everything, all the stuff's going to be tagged and stuff. But I want you to talk about the value of this compounded learning that you've been through. Because you talk about 25 years, it's not just about 25 of the same years, right? And everybody, even though you're going to engage with them on this, it's not going to be something that they're going to execute and be great at tomorrow just because they listened to you once.
No, this is a starting point of your journey. If you're hearing this right now, you're going, oh my God, this guy makes sense. Now get on the path as fast as possible because time is moving quickly, as you can see. And I'll just mention, if you want to get my book for free, just go to thetrustbook.com. It's not that hard. Type that in. I'll mail the book for free in the mail. It's got it's a physical with a stamp on it. I'll send it to you for free. Read it. If it resonates with you, have a chat with us. And those who want, if you want to access my course, my free one, it's called Mastering the Mindset. Go to the App Store, type in Selling with Trust, download the app, again there, and access my course and say hello to my community. We're growing quickly, and it's a community only for trust-based business owners who want to be part of our trust movement.
Awesome. Hey, one final one, and we can jump off here because your show starts next. What's your show again?
Stump the Guru. We're live in 10 minutes at arigalper.com/live.
So give us something. You know how a lot of people have an issue with taking action and getting started? So let's say they don't go buy your book. It sounds great. You're brilliant. High trust selling, they're buying into it.
They don't have to buy anything. It's free, just FYI.
But I actually believe that it's an exchange of their time. There's something that's keeping people. It's not about just a credit card, right? So give us one thing. Just give us one little thing to make us better today when we're engaging with humans. If we don't go get the book for free, but just something that we can take away right now that we can do with the next human.
Focus on listening in the purest sense possible, but not listening for the next thing for you to say. Be present. Allow them to sense from you. You aren't trying to move them forward. That's a skill you have to learn. It applies to your personal life as well, by the way. Okay, this is just communication. It's not trust selling. I added that word so people know kind of what it is, but this is about building trust with humans. Okay, this is basic level stuff. We can apply it to lots of things. Our kids, our family, dating applies to selling. I'm just honing on the selling part. So I hope people kind of get this. This is life-changing in so many different ways.
Ari Galper, thank you, man. Hey, go be the guru of all things on your live show. Thanks for spending 45 minutes from Australia with us, and I appreciate the time.
You got it, Mark. Thank you.
All right, thank you.